evening and welcome to Eye on Piscataway. I'm Steve Cahn, the 3rd Ward Councilman. I'm going to be filling in for Mayor Waller tonight. Normally, this is a live TV show. We take live callers. We have live guests in the studio, but we're going to be deviating from that format tonight as a result of the COVID-19 health crisis. We are, however, going to provide you updated information through a series of different video interviews that I had the opportunity to do over the last couple of days with various state and county and local officials. I want to emphasize to you that during this crisis, township government is functioning. While we've had to make certain adjustments for the health and safety of the community and of our staff, township government's up. It's working. The police department's working. Our volunteer fire and rescue squads are out there working. And of course, the DPW folks, you probably see them out around town working. Your local government is still here, and it's still here to serve you. So I guess I want to begin by trying to provide you some of the best sources of information. The state of New Jersey has now put together a very comprehensive website. It's got all sorts of information on there. It's covid19.nj.gov. That's the best place you can look. It's updated on a regular basis. It's the best place to go, really, for updated and quick information. Here locally, you can go to the Piscataway Township's website or Piscataway Township's Facebook page. There's going to be constant updated information as to what you need to know, what's going on here in the town. Mayor Brian Waller has been doing pretty much weekly video updates, providing everybody all the information that they need to know. The schools as well have a great website, and it's going to be updated on a regular basis with regular information. So tonight, we're going to have the opportunity to talk. I had the opportunity to talk to various different individuals to provide you information, and we have tapes of some of those things. The first one, because the school system is closed, and that's had a huge impact on most of the folks in town. The first thing I want to do to begin the show is to talk with the superintendent of schools. I had an opportunity recently to, use the new technology that we're all becoming familiar with via the internet, via Skype, and talk to the superintendent. And he has some great information, updated information as to what's going on in the school system. So I guess we're going to begin the show by going right to the schools and right to the superintendent. Good morning, Dr. Renalli. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Cahn. How are you today?
Good. I was hoping to have you live in the studio and sit next to you and shake your hand, but obviously we can't do that. So, we're using technology to communicate. At least from my perspective, I'm learning. This is good because I'm learning a lot about technology that I didn't know. And I'm hoping to, ask you a few questions and you can probably educate me. Maybe I'll go back to school and learn a little bit of technology. Anyway, I appreciate you. I know you're real busy and I appreciate you spending a little time to talk to us. There's a lot of questions out there in the community about what's going on in the school system, and I want to give you the opportunity to go through some of these things and explain to folks. I guess I first should ask you how you guys are doing. How are you and your family doing? Everything okay?
Doing well. And again, I appreciate the video conference. We want to set a good example for people to stay home. It's really important right now. But thank you for the question. I hope yours is as well. But my family's doing well. Staying at home. Trying not to drive each other crazy, but doing well. 3 teenagers back home. It's nice to have them home again.
Yeah, I understand you have 3. Are they in college or high school?
I have a son in college, a freshman in college, and 2 daughters, a junior in high school and a sophomore in high school.
And what district are they in?
We live in Burlington County. They go to the Rancocas Valley Regional District.
Obviously, they're doing some kind of distance learning or homeschooling as well. I have younger kids in the school system, as you may know. I have 2 kids in Randolphville School, and I guess the challenges between elementary school and high school are somewhat different. I guess it's good that you're getting a chance to see it not only from the superintendent side, but from a parent side as well.
There's a lot of things that I take from my personal experience with my own children, and really bring into the conversation that I have when it comes to my job. As an educator and as a parent, I talk a lot about my own experiences with my kids and what they go through. And again, we try to correlate things and make the best situation for everybody.
Well, I'll say, I know you're new to the district, and I have some background with the Board of Education. The word that I get from various sources, teachers and parents and others, is giving you pretty high marks. And I think you've made a great start in the school district. Unfortunately, the world threw a big hurdle at you in your first year here. But I think the general feedback I get is that people really like your hands-on approach to things. And as a parent and a member of the community, I like that as well. So I guess the first question I have in general is to tell me what some of the challenges are and how you folks are dealing with them. And then I probably have some more specific questions.
Sure. I think the biggest challenge for us was the transition. I mean, a month ago, a little bit more, maybe 5 weeks ago, I couldn't have imagined that there would be a time when we would be out like this. But it quickly became a reality. And one of our biggest challenges to begin with was the transition. Right? We had a plan in place, and it was a good plan. But as the plan goes forward, the transition is a little difficult, especially for parents. We do understand the hardship it is on families. So a lot of parents are home, working from home, and have to be almost the educator as well, right? I think another one of our huge challenges is equity, right? We want to make sure that whatever we deliver, the type of delivery of instruction that we have, that equity is taken into consideration. Basically the connectivity of devices, the number of devices. If a family has Wi-Fi, do they have 4 kids in the house that need to get on the computers at the same time? Staff, they want to be with their kids, right? They want to see their faces. So, those are some of the initial big challenges. And there's a lot of specifics, but, making sure our families in need receive their meals that they normally would receive if they were in school. So there's a lot of details. It's amazing how much, how the little details all pile up when you're not in school or you don't have people in their offices to do their work. Yeah.
Well, that's just a different question on the side is the meal program. I know when these things first happened, there was a lot of concern about that. And I believe you're working with the town to coordinate the meals program. How's that going?
Absolutely. I think that number one, first of all, I want to thank the partnership with the town. You mentioned before that I'm new to the district. Actually, I'm here about 6 years. This is my 6th year here, but my first year as superintendent. I spent 5 years as assistant superintendent, and then took over the superintendency in July. And since then, I've had a great relationship with the mayor, with the town. The communication's been terrific. The police department with Chief Mosier, who actually was on the board when I was hired, so I know him pretty well. But I want to thank everybody for their cooperation. I make a phone call and vice versa, and the answer is no problem. We'll help you. So that's terrific. So the meal plans, and the meal plan number one, and then the distribution of materials number two. The town was instrumental in helping us. Basically our meal plan is to deliver the lunches, the breakfast and lunches to the students in need. At first, we were driving it to their bus stops. If everybody was part of that, we adjusted some bus stops and we were driving it to that. And then, as this situation of the coronavirus got worse, we wanted to try to lessen the amount of people in one place at one time. So we changed our program to where now we set up a location at each of our schools, including the 2 children's corner locations across one on each side of town, and the administration building, to where we have lunches that people could come pick up between 9:30 and 11:30 every morning from Monday through Friday.
So, my kids are involved in, the homeschooling really. And I confess my wife, while she's a lawyer and works, is really the one that's doing the homeschooling. My participation has been mostly to get in the way. But I've had a chance to see some of that, and I understand how some of it's working, and I've had some feedback from some of the teachers. And I understand there's going to be some changes made going forward. Tell us about that.
So at the onset of this, our plan was, well, let me back up a little bit. We have a computer platform called Schoology, and this Schoology platform we have from 3rd graders all the way up to 12th graders. And basically, it's just a learning management system, whereas we can push and pull information, we could show videos, we could do sort of instruction through Schoology. Kindergarten through second grade don't have a Schoology account, right? From the 4th grade up, we were able to secure devices for students up to 10th grade. But the K-3s are a little bit different. So at the onset, not knowing how long this was going to be, we communicated work through email and paper packets and things like that. Not the best, and we know that it was going to be a lot of work for parents as well. So we are making an adjustment as we get into the 4th quarter. The end of the 3rd quarter is this Friday. We're making adjustments as we go into there to make available video streaming for classrooms, for class access for kids at all levels. From K to 3, we'll use Zoom as we're using right now. And from 4 to 12, we'll use our Schoology video platform. Now, different teachers are going to have different, experiences with technology, just as you and I, right? We struggle with this stuff a little bit as we're learning, but we are going to make it available. At the onset of this, there were some student privacy issues that I wanted to make sure we were compliant with. That's why we didn't jump right into the video components as we entered 3 weeks ago. But now we have those all straightened out, and as of the start of the 4th quarter, Monday, maybe even Thursday, Friday, I'm going to notify the teachers today, which is Tuesday, that we're going to make that available for them.
Yeah, I mean, the feedback that I'm getting from parents and teachers, not just in my own house, that the kids are looking for, the teachers are anxious to have more of an interactive learning process. It sounds like that's what we're going to be moving into. Am I right?
Yeah, no question about it. We want the teachers to see the kids' faces and vice versa. We want them to be more engaged. And the nice thing about both of these platforms is if a teacher has an interactive lesson or an online lesson at 9:30, and there are situations where a student can't get a device at home or can't get on or whatever it may be, we can embed these links so a student could access them a little bit later on in the day and go through the lesson and take care of the material and things like that, and at least see a teacher and some classmates.
That's been one of my concerns from the beginning. I mean, we have technology in the house. My wife has the ability to spend the time and thoroughly teach the kids, but Piscataway's always been a community where we took care of those less fortunate, and everybody was really treated equally and fairly. And I've been concerned about the kids that don't have that ability. So what are you all doing for that?
Sure. Equity is a huge issue for us. We talk about equity. We've been talking about it for 6 years now since I've gotten here. So if we didn't keep that at the forefront of what we're doing now, all the last 6 years would be a waste of what we discussed, right? So it is at the forefront of what we think. The devices that we can deploy to students in need, we can get them to them. So basically, we've told parents to contact us as we go into this more online platform. We'll get it out again to parents. If you need a device or you don't have one at home, contact us and we'll do our best to get you one. Also, we sent out information about internet companies offering free internet to people during this time. Altice, Optimum, Comcast, things like that. So they could call up those companies, get hooked up with free internet, and then we would provide them with a device if they need that.
So another one of the concerns that I had, and I'm sure you do, is the psychological effect of this shutdown and this crisis on school kids. I know the school psychologists have been involved in a program now. How you folks going to address that, and what concerns do you have about the psychological impact of where we are right now?
Sure. Even well before any of this situation approached us, the emphasis on student wellness and with the entire student and staff, right? Their physical, emotional, mental wellness is a huge part of what we do. And this just exacerbates everything tremendously, right? So what we've talked to our principals about and our teachers is we want to try to celebrate and connect with the kids as much as possible. That's a huge part of why we want to go into this virtual platform as well. We have our counselors available for kids and parents to be able to talk to over the phone. We really, again, want to try to have that connection. We get messages out to parents that if you need our help in any way, we'll be here. We still have the Haven at the high school, those resources that provided by Rutgers, even though they're virtual, they're resources. And we could set up situations where a parent and a child could interact with a counselor or behaviorist via Zoom or any kind of platform that we're doing right now.
So I know your time is busy, but I have a couple of quick questions that you may not know the answer to because, the things keep rapidly changing. So, before I had the opportunity to talk to you today, I talked to a few, students and parents throughout the school district. And as one would be expected, there's rumors and stories of all sorts. Have you given any thought to, some of the spring events that the high school looks forward to, the graduation, proms, those things? Is it any thought to how those things may come to place, delayed, canceled? Do you know the answer to that at all?
Yeah, so we obviously gave a lot of thought to it. We have conversations all day about what's next. We try to stay, 4 or 5 weeks ahead of everything. And with the executive order of the governor and other information that's coming out where this is going to bleed into May, possibly, things like that. We're trying to hold on to all of those activities, especially for kids who are celebrating, the prom, graduation, things of that nature. So as I sit here now, I don't know what we're going to do, but as the weeks go on, we'll have a little more clarity. Graduation, we usually graduate at the Rutgers Athletic Center, right? And that would be, I think that date is set for June 18th this year. So, we're hopeful that we can get back, but hopeful is a strong word there. We don't really know yet. If the governor comes and says we're closed for the rest of the year, then we have to put different plans into place. Maybe, okay, working with Rutgers to postpone that date a little bit further down the road, right? To have that celebration. And the proms, we have 600 people, 700 people at our prom. So to find a venue that would hold us at a different date might be difficult. So we're lucky as our prom is a little bit later. It's scheduled, I think, for June 4th. So it's a little bit later. We have a better opportunity to be back in school than some other schools. I know one of my daughter's prom was supposed to be last Friday, so she missed out, unfortunately.
No, that's too bad.
Yeah.
So are there any plans that about extending the school year or changing the school calendar? That's another question people ask.
Sure. Yeah, I do know the answer to that. There is no plans to extend the school year. I already put out in some communication that spring break is going to remain the same. And these days were granted by the State Department of Education to count as 180 days of education. And so we will go through, as long as we're delivering instruction and feeding the kids who need to be fed, we will go through those as the 180 days. Now, we are having some discussions about summer. Usually we have jump ahead summer for some students and some programs that might need it. And we are having some discussions about opening that up to kids who might have missed some vital stuff during this time.
And I know you have the summer camp program that's extremely popular. Any plans with regard to that yet?
Yeah, no, I mean, our hope is that we can have it as normal, but we are actually discussing what happens if we have to push it back a week or 2 weeks or things like that. And we're looking forward to trying to get back to some normalcy for everybody. And again, just the psychological and mental health of everybody, just getting back to some normalcy about being around other people. But for now, we're holding on and hoping, because that doesn't start until I think June, I think 23rd or 24th.
So I thank you for being on. I could tell you that if there's issues or questions and you need something from the town, call the mayor. You can call me. We want to be there to be partners with the school system. That's what's in the best interest of the community. I think you guys are doing a great job under really difficult circumstances. And I guess I want to close by asking you if there's anything else that you want to say. Is there any message you want to say to the parents and kids out there while we have the opportunity?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think the message is that we're all in this together. And when we get emails or phone calls about something that somebody has an idea or something that maybe their child isn't getting, we take that very seriously. Every email that we get or every phone call that we get, we call those people back. And we try to explain, our rationale for things and why we're doing and how we're doing it. And hopefully the changes that we come into next week will allay a lot of the concerns that some parents have, specifically the hardships on them. Right? We understand that they're working from home as well. They can't spend 4 hours a day educating their kids. That's something that we need to do. But I guess the final message is we're all in this together. We want to take care of everybody as best we can. So please let us know if there's more we can do.
Thank you very much. Good luck the rest of the school year. And I'm looking forward to shaking hands and talking to you in person as soon as we're able to do that.
You as well, Mr. Cahn. Thank you for your time.
Thanks. Have a good day.
You too.
I want to thank the superintendent for taking the time to talk to us. They're really busy over there trying to integrate new technology into the homeschool environment. And, I have 2 kids at home, and it's working pretty well. And by the time the show is on, they'll probably have rolled out some of the new improvements that they're going to use for the rest of the school year. So that was pretty informative. And again, we appreciate the superintendent's time. So the community center, was a big project. We've been working on it for a long time. We were all excited that it was going to be ready in May for its grand opening. And obviously, there may be some issues with opening it up to the public come the spring until we get over this health crisis. But construction is continued, and we're moving along on the project, and it's coming out terrific. And, someday the sun's going to shine again, and someday we're going to overcome this crisis. And the community center is going to be a huge part of Piscataway. So I had the opportunity to go into the community center a few days ago and to film the community center so you could see how it's coming along. And I want to go ahead and take a look at that video and share it with you now. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Cahn. I'm the councilman from the 3rd Ward here in Piscataway, and we're here in the Piscataway Township Community Center. And despite what's going on in the world, construction still continues on the community center, and we're here to take a look and see how things are progressing. I'm standing upstairs on what's going to be the indoor running track, and you have a view behind me of the basketball court in the gym area. We're going to go downstairs and take a look at that and show you the different aspects of the facility and see how it's coming along. So here we are. We're in the entryway, basically the center of the community center. When you walk in the front door, as you can see, this is going to be the welcome center or the reception desk. And basically, when you come through the front door, and we have over here, we're going to have on a wall right here. It's going to have a list of all the folks that donated money over the period of time we were trying to build the facility. Something really cool over here I want to show you, if we can swing around this way, is we have, this is going to be the open community room. It's going to be used for a lot of different things. As you can see, it's starting to get the finishing touches on the wall and the lights. It could be used for a small theater. It could be used for a meeting room. It's just basically a community type room, and it's actually going to be available for members of the public to rent out at different points in time. Here we have, when you first come through the front entrance, to the right is going to be a large cafe area. It's going to be open to the public. And here's our kitchen that is being built. You can see some of it coming in. Behind this wall, we have one of my favorite items in the community center is we have a big giant double pizza oven, which is back here. So we're setting up, it's a beautiful kitchen. It's going to be open to the public, whether you're a member or not. So right now we're in the aquatic center, which is kind of the biggest and most noteworthy, I guess, place in the facility. As you can see, it has 3 pools, and I think in about a week or 2 we're going to start filling the pools, which is going to be exciting. We'll come back and make sure we film for that. And there's something for everybody. We have a smaller pool, as you can see, that's really has a ramp that you can walk right into, and it's for kids and seniors, and there's going to be a variety of different things to entertain them in there. We have a pool. It's really a lap pool on the other side that's going to be warmer water and can be used for seniors and other folks doing exercise. And then, of course, we have the main pool, which is an 8-lane competitive pool. It's going to be used for a whole variety of different things, not just swim meets and swim teams, but it'll be available for members and members of the public that want to come and exercise in the pool. So this is the biggest room in the facility. It's a great room, really well designed, and I can't wait till it's finished. So if you haven't seen a big pool being built, this is what it looks like. And I guess can ask you a couple questions about it. The first question is how long until you think it's done and we're ready to start putting water in it?
So right now our plan is to start putting water in the week of April 6th. We're going to be doing the tile next week and the plaster, and then once the plaster goes in, we got to put the water right away. It'll probably take about 2 days to fill the pools up.
My understanding is that once it's ready to be filled, that the fire companies are going to come and help pump the water into the pool.
Yeah, so we're looking at different options, either the fire company, also the water hydrant. We just got to make sure that the pressure from the fire trucks, like it's not going to be too much pressure at one point where it's actually going to start eroding the plaster. Yeah, so we have a couple different options to fill it.
So I understand also, because this is going to be used for a competitive pool, that there's going to be a touchpad timing system. How does that work?
So basically that's going to be over on that end. So you're going to have the diving blocks in there, and it's all going to be integrated to the scoreboard and the timer. There's all wiring that go underneath the tile. So all it is just like a touchpad. You touch it and it stops the timer.
Over here is what?
That's going to be bleachers. There's a handrail in the front. They're finishing up the tile now. The bleachers will probably be here in a week or 2 weeks.
So this is another pool that we have in here. Tell us, Jose, what exactly are we looking at with this pool right here?
So this one is, they're going to use it for like a practice and an exercise pool. There's 3 racing lanes, and basically you just come in here, you do aerobic exercises, you can train swimming laps. There's steps to get down into it. That's the purpose of it.
So it's a really exciting concept. There's not many aquatic centers around that have multiple pools and it's designed to really accommodate everybody at the same time. We could have high school kids working out, or in one pool, seniors in another pool, and then young kids and their families playing in the third pool, all going on at the same time. So we're still here in the aquatic center. We're over by where the locker rooms and the doors are, and I see that the lockers have been developed. Jose, obviously we're in the middle of a national crisis, and the country has slowed down to a large extent. How has that affected construction or delivery of products to this facility?
Basically, it's affected some of the products. Like an example is the doors. They're coming from Pennsylvania, so obviously they're closed down. So now we're trying to find a way around whether we could go there and pick them up ourselves, just because the warehouse is shut down. The other issue we're having is the fire extinguisher cabinets. Those are also coming from Pennsylvania, so they got to wait a couple of weeks. But right now, those are really the only 2 things. Everything else we got it here earlier, or we're expediting it this week. As you see, the lockers, they just got delivered yesterday. And, they're putting them in, so by the end of this week, most of them should be up. All the partitions, they were supposed to be coming next week, but we got them in earlier. So they came in last week. So I mean, we're trying to work around it.
This, like everything else in America, it may slow this down somewhat, but it's good to see that it's getting worked on. It's good to see that guys are working, and that we're continuing to go forward. And again, as I've walked through the facility, I can see it's being done safely. We're now in the gym area, the basketball court area, which is another really exciting area. If you take a look around, you can see that there's a full court. There's 2 smaller courts that it can be broken down to. And we're going to go upstairs in a few minutes to see the indoor running track. The wood floor, if you've ever wondered how they put a wooden basketball floor in, you're going to see, we'll see soon, because the actual wood is here. And it's real wood. And I guess these guys, the carpenters that are going to put this together, are going to put all this wood together on the floor, I think in the next week or so. And then, of course, it gets a finish on it, and at the end of the day, it'll be a beautiful, hardwood floor basketball court. To my left over here, in this area underneath, is where we're going to have bleachers, and they're going to be retractable bleachers. So there was, like you see in the high school, where they fold up for more space, or they pull out to have spectators. So now we're upstairs, and as of course from upstairs you can see the basketball court. Probably a great place to watch a basketball game. But we're going to talk about the running track up here. Another great concept that we have in this facility, and you don't see this in too many facilities, where we have an indoor running track. And I'm told, I'm a runner, so I'm not sure it's quite accurate. I'm told it's 8 laps to a mile, but I'm willing to bet you that it's 10. I'm not exactly sure of the distance. So you can see it wraps around the entire basketball court. The surface isn't down yet. It's going to have a beautiful soft running surface, which I believe is somewhere laid out in some rolls. It's going to get wrapped around that. It's going to have lanes on it, and you'll be able to run to your heart's content up here. One of the beauties of this facility is there's a lot of open space. It's a lot of glass and windows. It's a great design. Here we are above the basketball court on the running track, and you'll be out here. You could be running here in the dead of winter and still have a sense of the open outdoors and of natural light. It's really just a tremendous design. I think people are going to really love it when they see it. And I can't wait for the floor to be down, and I'm going to run the first mile on this track. My goal, I told the mayor, my goal is to set the mile indoor Piscataway Community Center record. If I'm the first one to run it, it'll be the record. It probably won't last too long, though. We're up on the second floor on the running track, and we have a good view of the divider. So that is, curtain, you probably have seen it before in other gyms. It divides the facility in half. So, for example, we could have volleyball going on one side and basketball going on the other, and they won't interfere with each other. It's a big facility. We could be doing all different sorts of things at the same time. And that's the way this whole facility was designed. It was designed to accommodate everybody in our community, from kids to seniors. So we're up on the roof of the community center. There's a couple things that we can see well up here. Obviously, you've got the HVAC system, but what we wanted to point out to you is that the roof has been designed strength-wise and as far as all the different connections are set up so that we can put solar panels up here. And the plan is eventually, down the road, is to be able to put a solar field right up here on the roof and run this whole facility off of solar power. There's a couple of interesting things we can see here. For example, we have the building that some of you see being built is bathroom facilities for the outdoor spray park. It also has a mechanical room that controls the spray park, but there's a water reclamation system in the ground. So in other words, we're not wasting water. The water that we're using in the spray park is going to be brought back. It's going to be clean, chlorinated, and go back out into the facility. And you can see that running along down here. Those folks that have driven by, and you see these 2 giant trailers out in the back of the facility. These are generators. They're actually redundant. We don't need. There's a generator and a backup generator, and the reason is this is our FEMA disaster site. If we ever need to use this, if there's a massive power outage or some other emergency, the community center is a site that we can run off the generators, and we can evacuate people here. It can be used for all sorts of things. That's the way it was designed. So these 2 things that you see out here are natural gas generators. They're extremely powerful units, could run this entire facility. So now we're in the fitness area, and as you can see, it's coming along. We have a nice soft floor in here. This room is going to be full of gym equipment, the exercise room, and there's going to be television screens and monitors down on the roof, so you'll be able to watch different things as you exercise. You can see there's a couple of separate exercise rooms off to the side. We actually have a few other exercise rooms and like a dance room on the other side of the facility. This is probably going to be one of the biggest gym spaces around. It's a huge amount of space just for exercise equipment. So this colorful room that you see they just put the lights in is the kid care room. It's going to be used for child care. It's going to be used, folks come to work out, and there's a place for the kids to come and hang out and play. And there's glass windows and beautiful lighting, and it looks like they just painted in here as well. So we're here in yet another room. It's a multi-purpose room. It's next to the aquatic center. It can be used for exercise classes. It could be used for meetings. It's a pretty good size. I would say it's at least 3,000 square feet. It can be used. It's strategically located next to the aquatic center. as well as the kitchen, because this is a room that people could rent out if they were going to have a party, kids parties and such. It can be set up in a variety of different ways, and again, lots of windows all lit up nicely. So that was it was a great opportunity to take a look at the community center. That's been a project that I've been involved with for a long time, and I feel really strongly about it. It's coming along great. It's going to be really exciting when it's done, and folks, we're still on track. It's going to be done in May. Construction continues on it. It's the finishing touches of the community center. When it's going to be open to the public, that's uncertain right now. Obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. We're not going to open it up to the public, obviously, until we get beyond this health crisis. But the community center is still going to be a centerpiece for generations to come in Piscataway. There's something for everybody in there. I think you got a chance to see that. I don't know of any other community center with an aquatic facility like we have that's designed to accommodate multiple different things at the same time, young people, old people, and it's a lot of thought went into the construction and the design of the facility. I do want to emphasize that while the construction continues, there's all sorts of safety measures going on. The construction workers are using all types of, they obviously have gloves and masks on, and they're separated from each other, and there's a high degree of safety in how they're continuing the construction project. So, I said at the beginning of the show that we deviated from the normal way we do the show. Normally, we'd have a guest here in the studio, we'd interact with them and talk to them, but we're respecting the social distancing requirements that we all need to follow in order to get beyond the situation that we're in now. So what I have to show you next is a series of interviews that I did with Senator Bob Smith, with Freeholder Ken Armwood, and with First Ward Councilman and Little League President Frank Uhrin. And you'll notice on the videos that we're standing 10, 12 feet apart and used all type of social distancing safety considerations in the way we film these. And we did that for a couple of reasons. One is because we're following the guidelines that we're getting from the Center for Disease Control, but we want to emphasize to you the one thing that everybody can do in Piscataway to contribute to getting our town and our country beyond this crisis is respecting what the Center for Disease Control says, following those guidelines, staying healthy, keep your family healthy. That's what you can do for your community right now. So that said, let's take a look at what our important county and state officials and Frank Uhrin, of course, have to say. Good morning. I'm here with State Senator Bob Smith, who's also our former mayor, and we're here to talk a little bit about what's going on at the state level and what information is out there coming down from the state level so we can keep you most informed. So good morning, Bob. It's good to see you from a good distance away, unfortunately. So I guess I wanted to ask you a couple questions about what information our residents need and what the state of New Jersey's doing to help residents with respect to this crisis that's going on now.
Great. Steve, nice to see you again, even if it's 10 feet away from each other. But we definitely are living in challenging times. The way to get the most accurate, the most up-to-date, to-the-minute information is a New Jersey state website. And the address of that website is covid19.nj.gov. So it's it's covid19.nj.gov. Information to the minute. But for example, the kinds of things that you can find out: who should get tested, where and how do I get tested for COVID-19 in New Jersey? Am I eligible for benefits or unemployment if I or a family member have been impacted by the coronavirus? What housing and rental assistance and mortgage relief is available for New Jerseyans? Are there protections for eviction or foreclosure? How do I apply for food, cash, and health insurance assistance? So you're talking about some of the most important information concerning the challenges that we're all facing. And I'd also mention that this website also has the ability to do a job search. Included is a jobs portal that matches essential industries with workers. And today there are over 46,000 jobs available in over 500 companies in New Jersey. So another good reason to have that web address definitely on your computer and check with it every day. Your second question was, what are some of the big recent events? What's happening that everybody should know about? And every day there's something new, but let me tell you some of the really big ones, if I might. Last week, through the New Jersey Department of Human Services, many new New Jerseyans who receive food assistance through the New Jersey Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, New Jersey SNAP, will receive additional benefits to help address critical food needs related to the COVID-19 pandemic. On April 1st, the Federal Families First Coronavirus Response Act took effect, and important information is available for New Jersey workers on emergency paid sick leave, expanded family and medical leave, and emergency child care leave. And then on April the 3rd, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority is expected to launch the application for its small business emergency assistance grant programs. And I know a lot of our small business people in Piscataway in the 17th District would be very much interested in that, because we have to get through this crisis. And then for those people who are worried about their taxes, and we always should be worried about our taxes, the New Jersey tax filing deadline has been extended from April 15th to July 19th, which hopefully will be helpful to many. So that's the big recent news. But if you will go to that website every day, and I'm going to say it again for those people who like a little repetition, it's covid19.nj.gov. Do so, please.
Senator, some of that legislation you talked about is extremely important because it's going to help people that are out of work, people that are in need in a variety of ways. Is that information also, or is there a link to some of that information, that new legislation on that website?
Absolutely. Every time the state does something, it goes right on the website. And it has the additional connecting web information so you can apply for these programs and hopefully be able to receive the benefits from them.
Well, I'll say, we seem to be at the epicenter of the disease based upon, our density here in New Jersey. We are really fortunate that we've got great leaders at the state level. If you look around what's going on around the country, there's disorganization here and there. But our governor has been leading, our state legislature's been leading, and I know I'm thankful for that. And I'm assuming you guys are continuing to work,
Yep.
Continuing to get things done, correct?
Absolutely. About 2 weeks ago, we did 20 bills in the Assembly and Senate to try and address this crisis. It required that we go to Trenton. One of the bills that we passed now allows us to meet remotely. And I was talking to the Senate President yesterday. He said that our first remote meeting of the Senate will be in 2 weeks, and that will be to address some of the new problems that we're finding and trying to find new relief for New Jersey citizens. So absolutely, we're working every day. We're fielding phone calls, trying to help people get the correct information so that they can get through this life-threatening event.
Well, I thank you for your time, Senator. And as I pointed out earlier, you're the former mayor of the town as well, so and you've lived in this town for a long, long time. You know the town well. Is there anything else you want to say to the residents about the crisis we're going through now?
Yes, and I see it in my own family. We're all getting crazy. You turn on the television, and it's COVID-19 every minute, every day, every channel. And what we all have to do is keep our heads. All right, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through it healthy. We have a tough economic slog to go through, but we're going to get through it. This too shall pass. And if we all try to help our neighbors in whatever way we can, especially some of our elderly, that'd be greatly appreciated. But we're Team Piscataway, and we're going to get through it.
Well, thank you again, Senator, for your time, and I echo those words. The mayor and your township government is still hard at work, and we're here to help. And there's information that'll be posted on our website, as well as on the screen probably throughout this show, of how you can get questions answered at the state level. You've got the website from Senator Smith. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm out here this morning in front of Relly's Deli on Stelton Road in Piscataway because I'm here with Freeholder Ken Armwood, who's also from Piscataway. We're going to talk about some issues facing the town and the county, but we're also out here today to promote some of our local businesses that are doing takeout food. We want to keep them going, keep them in business during this national crisis. So anyway, good morning, Ken.
Good morning.
It's usually you and I are very friendly and touching each other and shaking hands. We're about 7 feet away this morning, though.
Yeah.
So I guess I wanted to ask you a couple questions and let you give you the opportunity to talk to the town about what's going on at the county level. So I know you want to talk about local businesses, so go ahead.
Sure. Just during this time, I'd really like to encourage those who can. I know it's tough. There's tough times. Some people aren't working. For those who are, if you're going into work because it's necessary for you to go to work, I am encouraging you to please spend your money at the small businesses. They are at the heart of our community, and they always are supporting us. And if you look in the news, these are also the people, even though they're going through tough times, they're the ones donating to our first responders, to the police, providing them with food. If they can find PPE, they're making sure that they get donations out to them. So they're going beyond just their normal services, even though obviously financially they've taken a hit. So I'd really like to encourage all of the people who are watching this, if you've got a little extra that you can spare, you might not, but if you do, if you could please support our small businesses so that they can, when this is all over, they have an easy come up when we're back up on our feet.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, everybody has their own individual situation. I heard, unfortunately, on the news this morning, over 6 million Americans filed for unemployment, which is just unheard of. And, our town's not going to be spared, but we're all trying to do the best we can to take care of each other. Ken, what's going on you're a county freeholder, you're from Piscataway. What's going on at the county level?
Well, at the county, every day our freeholder director, Ron Rios, and some of the staff have a conference call with the state. So we're constantly getting the most up-to-date information from the state. We're getting the numbers that are unfortunately at this time rising as far as the people who've contracted the virus. Obviously, more testing that you do, the more that you're going to know that the numbers are going to go up, obviously. So every day we're getting that information. When we get complaints about some of the businesses that are open, who aren't adhering to the social distancing guidelines, we are going in and enforcing that. Our social services department, community services, they are making sure that we're taking care of the homeless population, that we're getting information out there in all different languages. The workforce development side, they're making sure that actually they were pretty good. They got ahead of this, and they've been doing a lot of work before this came up. But right now they're obviously helping people with their unemployment claims. Anyone who is looking for unemployment, they're encouraging you to please go ahead and file. Even if you think that you might not qualify, let them tell you that you don't qualify, but please go ahead out there and file for the unemployment that's out there. And we opened up a new site for testing over at the DMV over at Kilmer yesterday. And from what I've heard, it went seamlessly perfect. No lines waiting. Everyone got in and got out. So county staff's really working hard right now.
Well, I saw some good news about testing, that Rutgers University apparently may have a breakthrough testing program. That would be terrific if we can develop that here in town. So for a long time, the county's been very interactive on the website, and a leader in getting their website up and running. If a resident needs county services for some reason or needs to get some information from the county, they can do that on the website?
Yeah, they can do that. One of the things that people who are at home that I would encourage them to do, I see on social media a lot of people are saying they're bored, they don't know what to do. We actually have a platform called Skill Up Middlesex. where they can go on over 4,500 free courses online that they can take while they might not be working that can enhance their skills. And you never know what might come after this. There might be new jobs out there that you qualify for, and you might want to find a new job.
That's a great idea, and I see, at least in our town, Johnson Park, people are walking, people are enjoying when it's a little cold today, but the nicer weather, and we're really grateful to have that beautiful county park. Anything else, Ken, that you want to tell the residents in town about what's going on at the county or within the township?
One thing I wanted to mention while you're talking about the parks, please do not congregate in the parks. We've had to remove equipment that is designed for team sports, the soccer nets, the basketball hoops. We've had to take that down because people were not adhering to the social distancing. The only way we're going to get over this is by following the guidelines from real scientists and real facts. I know in this day and time, especially with the social media, people like to put out a lot of information that's not true. They're real scientists and real facts, and what they're telling us is we have to keep the social distance. No matter how much I may like you, Councilman, we do have to keep our distance and try not to let this, you may be asymptomatic, but you can pass it on to someone else. And one death from this virus is too many, and the numbers that we're hearing are absolutely staggering, and it's an absolute shame that in our country this many people will pass away.
It is a shame. It's tough times for America, but America's been through tough times before, and I'm an optimist. I know you are, Ken.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, in the summer when we're allowed to hug each other, you're on the top of the list of people that I'm going to look for to hug. Anything else you want to say, Ken?
I agree with you, Councilman. We've been through tough times, and that's part of the American spirit, is not always that we win, it's that we always come back. We may be down, but we always come back. And that's what the true American spirit is. And as Americans from all different backgrounds, we will band together. This is a tough time that our country is going through, but we will be back on top.
Well, thanks for talking to the residents of the town, my friend. And keep up the good work. And I look forward to sitting down and shaking hands and talking to you a lot closer than 8 feet away.
Absolutely.
Take care. Have a good day, Ken.
You too.
Hi, I'm out here at the Piscataway Little League Field Complex, and we're here today to talk to Frank Uhrin, who's our first ward councilman, and he's the president of Piscataway Little League. Good morning, Frank. Good to see you. Tell us what the status of Little League is right now.
Okay, good morning, Steve. Good morning, everybody. The status with Little League right now is we're looking to open up May 11th. We're going to also follow what the township does with T-ball. One thing that the Piscataway Little League is going to do is we're going to play the entire season through, so we're looking to play baseball probably till like the end of July.
Okay. I know that National Little League has put out different information. How does that affect us, if at all, in Piscataway?
Well, what they're putting out is they're suggesting. They're not mandating anything right now. The only thing that they're telling us that we can't do is, they want you to open up May 11th. That's their date. As far as anything else going on with National, I haven't heard anything. I don't even know if they're going to be doing the Williamsport teams this year or not. But we decided not to do them this year because we want all the kids to play the full season. If we do the Williamsport team, we're going to have to cut the season short, and I don't want to do that.
So just to be clear, the Williamsport team is the all-star, the 12-year-old all-star team that gets to play other teams, and if they're good enough, work their way into the Williamsburg tournament, right?
That's correct. We would have a 9, 10, and 11, and 12, and with the current situation going on, I really don't want our kids traveling out of Piscataway right now anyway.
So when this crisis hit, we had the teams picked, the coaches were ready. In fact, we had practices scheduled and ready to go. All that's been suspended for now, correct?
Correct. All the teams are picked. They were actually practicing, but I stopped everything right now. And as you can see, all the fields are all ready to go. I've had field maintenance up here taking care of the fields, and they're ready. So we're ready to play. We just got to wait.
Okay, anything else you want to let us know about Little League, Frank?
Nope, we just want to play ball. I know everybody wants to come out and play, so we're ready to go when we're in the clear.
Well, I guess the word here in Piscataway is like it is everywhere else in America. We're all doing our part to stay away from each other and get this crisis behind us. And hopefully we'll be out here sometime soon and be able to say play ball, right?
Absolutely. We're
Okay.
looking for May 11th.
Okay, thanks, Frank. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Steve. Take care.
I want to thank the guests that came on the show tonight via video to share some information with us. And I want to, again, remind everybody of the different websites I talked about at the beginning of the show for updated information. And right now, of course, everybody's in a difficult time. We're all trying to figure out, it's something new. Again, the best thing that you can do for your community, the best thing that you can do for our country right now is to respect what the Center for Disease Control says. Stay healthy, keep your family healthy, help your friends and neighbors, stay together as a community, and we're gonna get over this crisis. America's a pretty smart place. America's a pretty tough place. If we all stick together, we're gonna get through this together. That said, I have one last video clip that I want to show you as we exit the show. We'll be back on the air, I believe, May 6th. Hopefully, we'll be on the air live. But we do have one last clip of middle school basketball championship, and I want to show that to you as we sign off. Thanks for watching the show, and we'll see you again next month.